location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Break up with stinky clothes.
Rinse it out.
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of the stinks that just will never come out.
Oh, Downy in the rinse change.
Every now and then I rinse it out. One wash and it delivers. One wash, it smells so clean. Downy Rinse and Refresh, it's a dream.
Downy Rinse and Refresh. Fights odor in just one wash. Guaranteed.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
You're heavy into downtown on 670 eastbound from about Wyoming Street all the way past 35. Heading out I-70 eastbound is slow rolling from 435 out towards the Blue Ridge Cutoff and then sluggish to 40 Highway. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Nobody in Kansas City has sports like 96.5 The Fan.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas City, a 3-yard touchdown pass in overtime. Kansas City wins the game.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Sometimes this is a thankless job. But you know what? Every day I'm here for you guys. I don't do this for myself. I do this for y'all. Let me tell you a story. There was a baseball team that was lost. There was a baseball team that could not find its way. And little old me, just trying to be a humble servant, decided to have a psychic on the show so we could get some more information and change the chakra and aura around the Kansas City Royals because you were down. And I was met with a lot of skepticism. I was met with a lot of disbelief. But you know what this show does? It stays the course. It doesn't look left or look right. We continue to move straight ahead. I want to play for you what the psychic had to say as we kick off today's show. And trust me, I have thoughts, I have commentary about these past 3 days for the Kansas City Royals. And I am willing to say what you are afraid to say. The Royals are going to the postseason. Oh, Carrington, don't jinx it. Oh, how do you know? You want to know how I know? The psychic told me. Listen to this from a couple days ago.
We'll know by Thursday because everything shifts on Thursday. I think 4th, 5th inning tonight.
That's good. You want to know why that's good? Because their series against the Nationals, guess when it ends?
It ends on Thursday.
It is on Thursday.
Do some research. That noon game will tell it all.
It is on
4th
Thursday.
and 5th inning will tell everything tonight. Tomorrow it will be the 2nd and 3rd and 4th inning, and then at the end of the game. But it's the noon game in Washington, D.C.
Can I tell you guys what we learned today? The Royals' magic number is 2. Could be 1, depending on what happens tonight with the Minnesota Twins. Lucas Erceg, since we had the psychic come in studio, Lucas Erceg pitched 3 consecutive days for the first time in his career. You want to know what Lucas Erceg did? 3 innings, no hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts. Never before in his career, in his life. Kansas City, I don't need a thank you. I don't need an apology. I need you to say it with me. The Royals are going to the postseason. I want you to put that positive energy out into the world, and I want you to believe it like this show believes it. Their pitching this series was incredible. The last 2 days, they have gotten timely hitting. The tide is turning for the Royals. Optimism and hope is back. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do something that we only do during football season. If you call up today, 913-586-7965, and you want to talk Royals, I'm taking your phone call the rest of the way. We'll talk about the Chiefs. You guys tell me these regular season games don't matter anyway. Who cares what happens on Sunday? We don't know if Justin Herbert's going to play. We can't name any receiver on the Los Angeles Chargers. I'm sure everything will be fine. We're talking Royals the rest of the way on this show. It's playoff time here in Kansas City. The Royals are going. So I don't want this to catch you off guard. Go ahead and tell your boss that you're not going to be in on Tuesday because you're going to be somewhere having a drink at 1 o'clock watching the Royals play playoff baseball. You know they're not getting a night game. I don't want this to sneak up on you. I don't want this to catch you off guard. The Royals are going to the postseason. Say it with me now. If you want to text in, I'll read it. If you want to call, we'll take it. We're talking Royals the rest of the day. If you want Chiefs, come back tomorrow. It's week 4. They'll be fine. Text line 913-586-7965. Finally, CDOT, something we agree on. Go Royals. Exactly. Let's go to the phone lines. Mike, you called into the drive today. How are you doing, Mike? Are you a believer? Are they going to the postseason?
Man, I am forever Royal. We are going to the postseason.
Thank you. I like hearing that, Mike.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, C-Dot, I have been on your text line saying since probably 45 days ago saying that we are going to the playoffs, and Lucas Erceg has been an amazing guy for us.
Mike, you're 100% true, man. I appreciate the phone call. Thank you. Lucas Erceg is the biggest reason why they won this series this weekend. 3 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks over these 3 days. First time in his career, he pitched 3 consecutive days. He earned a save in all 3 of the games. The bullpen went from being their biggest Achilles heel for most of the season. Right now, their bullpen is one of their absolute biggest strengths. At least it has been. Some of it is addition by subtraction. They have gotten some of the rotten eggs out of the bullpen. But their bullpen has been really, really strong. And their pitching has held up over the course of the last 3 weeks when the offense wasn't there. And the offense was not there for the last 10 days or so. Their offense is regressing a little bit to the mean, and if they can hold on to this pitching, I still believe they can beat Baltimore. Now, Houston, that's a different issue. Let's see what the Tigers do over the next couple of days. The White Sox are actually kind of frisky right now, a little frisky. But the Royals, this pitching works. You can do something with this pitching. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to head to Detroit and learn more about the Tigers as they have been absolutely on fire for the last 3 weeks or so. Let's continue to take your phone calls. If you call up and Rob puts you on hold, we are taking your Royals phone calls the rest of the day. Keith, you called into the drive. How you doing today, Keith?
Good. I'm good, C-Dot. I just wanted to call in and say, let's go Royals. I think that I've been all year saying we're going to the playoffs. It's time to get hot. It looks like we're getting hot, and let's go. Put some hitting with it. We might be able to do something in the playoffs.
Thank you, Keith. I'm with you. If they can get good Salvador Perez, they got a shot. Salvi was, 0-12? Got his first RBI in this series in the 3rd game. Had a couple of hits today. If they can get Salvi back, and this offense can be carried by Bobby Witt and Salvador Perez, and you piece it together and they get one other unsung hero type, who knows what the postseason can bring. Dave, you calling us to the drive. Hey, Dave, how you doing, man?
Doing good, C-Dot. Thanks for taking the call.
No problem.
I'm gonna give you your props, bro. Remember Tuesday when you talked to the quarterback and you asked him what he thought the Royals had to do, and he gave that little pep talk? They ain't lost since, bro. Thanks for doing your job and getting the quarterback involved. I'll listen off the air. Go Royals.
Thank you, Dave.
Bob.
More people need to acknowledge my contribution in all of this, that this show has held the Royals together single-handedly. While so many other people in this city, Rob, have tried to tear down the Royals, this city, this show has tried to challenge you to go to the games, to challenge you to continue to believe and buy in. When things were looking lost, we brought in a psychic. We called in a higher power to try to help the Royals. Thank you, Dave, for acknowledging that. Dave, you know what? Call back. We'll give you a pizza. Dave, call back right now, 913-586-7965. For your acknowledgement, I want to make sure you get a pizza. Thank you. I appreciate you. Coming up, we're going to head to Detroit. If you're on hold, stay there. Rob will take your call. We will put you on hold. We will be talking Royals the rest of the day. Tomorrow, we will go back to talking about the Chiefs. But I believe the Royals are going to the postseason. We are celebrating that on this show. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. On your new home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
670 eastbound slow heading into downtown, coming over from the state line. 71 northbound slow into downtown from 22nd Street. East side 435 southbound very slow from 23rd all the way down through the construction zone past I-70. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
It's Jeff Briggs of Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. For the last 20 years, I've served my hometown using our core values: honesty, teamwork, work ethic, humility, and the golden rule. Folks, I'm never going to add $2,000 to an advertised price if you don't have a trade and then hit you with $1,500 in unneeded accessories. My dealer ads are free. If you want to work a car deal the right way, walk into Victory, ask for the owner, and I will personally assist. You won't find it anywhere else. Visit us at victorymotorskc.com to see what we're all about.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mo's & Son. Well, boy, it's getting hot out there, and I can't imagine surviving summer without AC. Now, if your AC is making funny noises, just needs a once-over, or your home isn't as cool as it used to be, call CM Mo's & Son. My team is on time, total pros, and can take care of any type of AC repair. Visit cmmosandson.com to get your AC back in tip-top shape. CM Mo's & Son. License 202919. Well, I gotta get back to it. Dispatch, this is Mindy. Go ahead.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's winds blowing across a fruited plain, and also your new fire pit, which subsequently sets your gazebo ablaze. It's hard-hitting football, and an even harder-hitting price estimate from your general contractor. That's a star-spangled bummer. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of homeownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/rain to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/rain. That's leaffilter.com/rain.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2. At T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
With 24 monthly bill credits, eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits, and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Listen to the Chiefs and Chargers game on Sunday with pregame starting at noon. Kickoff at 3:25 with Mitch, Danon, and Kling. Right here on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2 Kansas City. In Odyssey Sports Station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Johnny Kane. He works for Bally Sports Detroit. Let's talk and learn a little bit more about the Tigers, who have been hot of late. Johnny, man, happy to have you on the show today, man. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Good to hear from you, man.
Absolutely, man. Long time no talk, man. Let's start with this. The Tigers were 10 games back of the Royals, I believe, in the middle of August, and they have turned into the hottest team in baseball. What has changed for the Tigers?
Yeah, dude, August 10th to be exact, 10 games out of it. And you go back to, you know, when the wild card era began back in 94, like no team has ever made the postseason. And there were a lot of, obviously, people that wrote off the Tigers. But I don't know, man. It's hard to, like, encapsulate exactly, you know. Like, there is a true team concept where you don't have one guy that has to carry – you know, any more of his share. Like, obviously, Riley Green leads this team in homers, average, and RBIs, and Terry Skubal, obviously, you know, could be the unanimous Cy Young. So those are 2 elite-level players. But on a day-to-day, it's not like they're just riding their coattails. You know, it's this collective unit of guys that are maximizing their potential at the right time. And I think back to, like, back when I used to cover Kansas City, you know, I think back to how special that run was in 2014. And you know, you had those young guys that came up through the system. Yes, they added a couple nice pieces in free agency, but when you talk about some of the younger players that were coming into their own, like Hosmer, Moose, Lorenzo Cain, like those guys got going at the right time, and then they caught fire. And that's like what this team is doing. Like the third youngest team in baseball, and they just collectively, you know, pass the baton onto the next guy. And like some people would say it was unsustainable, but you know, you go back over the last 41 games, they're 31-19. I mean, that's how you get it done. And then you just continue to show up every day. You wipe the slate clean. It's a brand new canvas. And then you go back to doing exactly what you did the day before. So it's been an incredible run, man. I'll be honest with you. It's as much fun covering baseball as I've ever had, and I've been covering baseball for 19 years.
I was just going to ask you, do you see the similarities between this Tigers team and the 14 Royals, that the Royals in the middle of August just got hot kind of out of nowhere and no one wanted to play them in the postseason? They eventually rode that wave all the way to the World Series. Obviously, the story is being written right now for the Detroit Tigers, but I wouldn't want to play them if I was Houston, the Yankees, or the Guardians.
Yeah, and that's kind of it, right? So everybody says you got to get hot at the right time, but how do you time that? Like, I'm a big horse racing guy, and when you see a horse, say you've got a horse you bet on, when he makes his move and he makes it too early and then he gets out kicked in the home stretch, it's like, oh, man, we mistimed it, right? Didn't have a good ride or ran out of gas. You got to try to time those runs, just like Kansas City did in 2014. And when they got hot, they got hot. And if you go back to that wild card game against the A's, they're down 4 with 6 outs to go, and then they continue to get hot. And then you sweep your way through the DS, CS, and then go to 7 games against the Giants. Now, they ultimately didn't get it done with the time run 90 feet away, but they timed it right. And so the Tigers have somehow, it wasn't like by strategy where you said, okay, hey, on August 10th or August 11th, let's turn it on now. But they've timed this run right now where you see other teams coming back to the pack, and this lead horse right now is the one that nobody wants to face. So can it continue to go? Why not, right? I mean, as AJ Hinch said, I don't like to call it a run. Like, I don't want to call it like, hey, you guys are having a nice little streak, because streaks come to an end. Runs come to an end. He said, this is just the way we play. And I don't think anybody wants this to come to an end. So if that's the belief, right, it's not like, hey, we're playing out of our minds and at some point we're going to come back to earth. They've been doing it for 6 weeks, right? So at some point you say, this is who we are. And then when you wake up every morning, it's not as if you're having an out-of-body experience. It's like, hey, this is who we thought we were. And now the rest of the league says, okay, this is who the Tigers are.
Right now, we're talking to Johnny Kane for a couple more minutes here. He works for Bally Sports in Detroit. This is how I've been looking at it, Johnny, and I'm curious to get your perspective. I don't think the Royals are competing with the Tigers. They are way too hot right now. They have 3 games left against the White Sox. The Tigers are making the postseason. Right now for the Royals, the question is, are you going to be better than the Mariners and the Twins? It's those teams fighting for those last couple of spots. But the Tigers, just given how hot they've been and their schedule, I just don't see them outright missing the postseason.
Yeah, I think that would be improbable now at this point, which is wild to consider. Again, considering all the things we talked about when they were counted out. But there's a reason they play 162, and obviously both Kansas City and Detroit, in really good spots. I mean, I think if you had anybody call in from Minnesota or Seattle, they'd say, hey, I'd trade places with you in a heartbeat. So even though the Royals haven't been playing their best baseball, obviously, big win today, you're still in it. So get to the dance and then let's see. Like, I think they still are who they are, right? And over the course of the entire season, they've been a better ball club than have the Tigers. But over the last 6 weeks, you would say otherwise. So now just get to the dance. You know how that works. Like, just get there and then let's see how it goes. Minnesota, I think, is coming back to the pack like they might have gassed themselves out, right? And Seattle obviously needs a lot of things to happen. Well, I'll be watching that, obviously, the Minnesota-Miami game tonight, because the Tigers' magic number is 2. Same with Kansas City, and we'll see what the Twins are able to do. Because if they continue to slide, the more they slide, the better that obviously impacts the Tigers' chances of getting in.
What is your perception of the Minnesota Twins? That's a team that obviously we are very familiar with in this division. I've seen them a lot. You've seen them a lot as well. They have had a tremendous slide over the course of the last 3-4 weeks or so. What have you seen with this Twins team that has caused them to take this much of a stumble?
I don't know, man. And that's the tough thing to pinpoint, Like, I don't watch them every day as intently. I still think they're a good ball club, but it's like when you go through these ebbs and flows of a season, like, you can't be, this is now not the time to be dipping, and so then that puts a strain on everybody. And I hate to use cliches, but when it says, guys are trying to do too much or the manager's going to get some heat, the reality is it's a results-based business. And I think these guys aren't coming to the ballpark playing freely, right? Because once there's expectation, you say, okay, hey, we're expected to be here. Or when you lock up a guy like Carlos Correa, it's like, okay, well, this is what we need to do. These are the projections. And then you start playing tight, right? And then guys are trying to perform up to an expectation rather than allowing the results to come naturally. I think when you look at a team like Detroit, where you say, okay, what are the expectations? Well, there aren't any. Okay, so just go play free, have a little fun while you're out there, and do the fundamental things right, like do the routine things well. And I think that's the difference in the styles, like the brand of baseball that we're watching. So it's a much more enjoyable brand to watch. But I can't pinpoint what it is for Minnesota, and I do feel for those guys because see that, like, you've seen it too, man. You've covered Royals baseball for a long time. Like sometimes when it's not working, and then you start reaching for why it's not working. Sometimes it just doesn't work, right? I mean, sometimes it's the construct of a team. Sometimes it's just you just aren't playing your best ball at certain times, and it's more of a broad brush of, hey, we're just not playing good ball. Why? X, Y, and Z. I don't think it's easy to pinpoint, but they got to figure it out. And right now, the sand in the hourglass is running out.
Last question here for Johnny Kane. He covers the Detroit Tigers. They have been the hottest team in baseball for the last couple of weeks. They are in contention with the Royals for one of the wild card spots. It's been their biggest nemesis, I would say, over the last 3-4 weeks or so. At least on this show, I want the Royals to play the Orioles. I do not like their chances against Houston. We're talking about a team that has been to the postseason in 7 years with the Royals offense. I don't want anything to do with the Astros. I'm wondering from you guys' side, do you care who you play in the postseason, or with this run that the Tigers have been on, you guys will take any opponent that is in front of you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, you kind of let all that stuff play out, and then once you start trying to pick an opponent, like, at first it's like, hey, we're not supposed to get in, and then you get in, and then all of a sudden you say, hey, I think we match up better here. If every team, if you put on alert every team that's out there, like I think New York's really good, like I do. I think the Orioles, like we've taken 5 out of 6, and we faced them twice, in the last 2 weeks. So it's like once you have their attention, it's like put the pressure on the opponent and don't necessarily worry about, where you match up better. Let them worry about how they match up against you. So, get in. Like for the Tigers, they haven't been to the playoffs since 2014. And if you remember back then when Kansas City went on its run, the Orioles swept that Tiger team, and that Tiger team was stacked, especially from a pitching standpoint, right? That was Scherzer, Verlander, Porcello. And the Royals didn't, they hadn't played the Tigers that well all season long in the division. And then all of a sudden the Orioles swept the Tigers out of it. So the Royals ended up getting matched up with Baltimore, and then they swept Baltimore. And there was that unbelievable line from Gerard Dyson, I remember, after the Royals had taken the first 2 in Baltimore. And I forget who it was for the Orioles, but he said, yeah, we just got to go to Kansas City, win 3 games and come back here and finish it at home. And Gerard said, I don't believe that, and I don't think they do either, right? But he said the right thing, and they ended up sweeping them. So, again, I think the Tigers have put the rest of the league on notice, and I think as long as they say we don't want to face you, the Tigers will say, okay, we'll play whoever we get.
That is our guy, Johnny Kane, joining us on the show today. He's with Bally Sports of Detroit. He is covering the hottest team in baseball. Johnny, man, it's been fun to watch your journey over the last decade or so. You've done great stuff with the Lions, with the Pistons, and now you're covering the hottest team in baseball, man. I hope that you guys have a tremendous postseason run, man.
I appreciate it, brother, and continued success to you as well, man. Life's a blessing.
Absolutely. That is Johnny Kane joining us on the show today. He used to be here in Kansas City. He now went back home to Detroit, and he covers all things Detroit. All right, coming up on the other side, we will take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. You call up. If Rob puts you on hold, I promise you we will take your phone call. We also will go to Minnesota. There are only 3 teams alive for that wild card spot. The Seattle Mariners have been eliminated. So the only teams that are alive for the wild card, obviously whoever gets second place in the American League East, so the Yankees, the Orioles, one of those teams is going to grab one of those spots. It is between the Tigers, Royals, and Twins, 3 teams fighting for 2 spots. I think we know that the Tigers are going to grab one of those spots. They've been the hottest team in baseball, and they have the White Sox the final 3 games. They are not losing a series to the White Sox, not the way that they have been playing. So it is down to the Royals and the Twins for that final wild card spot, and the Royals, I believe, Rob, have a 2-game advantage over the Minnesota Twins. So we will go to Minnesota coming up in about 15 minutes, but we will take your phone calls. If Rob puts you on hold, we will take your call. We're talking Royals the rest of the day. We will get back to the Chiefs tomorrow on a Red Friday. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The NFL is flying by, but you still have time to kick the season off right with the big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 wager. Let's build a same-game parlay for Sunday's game. I'm going to take the Chiefs and the points. I'm also going to take Patrick Mahomes over. I think he bounces back. I'm also going to take an anytime touchdown from Rashee Rice. Don't miss the action this NFL season. You can play that same game parlay or make your own. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/CDOT. Use my promo code to make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and also 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable bonus pass which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Can help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit KSGamblingHelp.com.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. You know, there's nothing easier to enjoy than watching the Chiefs with some wings and an ice-cold Bud Light. And Buffalo Wild Wings is serving up both for every game, all season long. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off Ferry Road and Prairie Drive in KC Mo on Thursday, September 26th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m. celebrating the back-to-back Super Bowl champs while eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. Nothing easier to enjoy than that. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. For more details, go to 965thefan.com. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Two Door Cinema Club return to North America. Two Door Cinema Club live in concert in Kansas City. Starlight Theater, Saturday, September 28th, with special guest, Petey. Get tickets now at kcstarlight.com. For more, visit twodoorcinemaclub.com.
Hi, we're your friends who get super excited about the holidays.
We sure are, or this isn't the ugliest holiday sweater ever.
People think we're happy because we love peppermint lattes.
Or catching snowflakes on our tongues.
But really, it's because
it's Holiday Millionaire Raffle season!
It's your best odds to win $1 million.
That's dollars, not twinkling lights, but that would be great too.
Play the Kansas Lottery Holiday Millionaire Raffle. Get excited!
See kslottery.com for details.
This is Eric Geschwin, Market President of Pinnacle Bank. And when your family or business needs financial assistance, call us, the bankers who care. At Pinnacle Bank, you're more than just an account number. That's why we're dedicated to being by your side on every step of your journey. You can trust us to deliver a job well done. For more information, visit us at pinbank.com or call 816-578-4334. Pinnacle Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
At Shane Company, we make finding your perfect engagement ring fun and easy. Because let's be honest, you might feel a little stressed out. We get it. That's why we do all the hard stuff. It's our job to bring you the biggest selection of beautiful diamonds and colorful gemstones, so many amazing settings, and all the customization your heart desires. We've got your style and your price range covered, and we're here to guide you every step of the way. Come in for a warm welcome and leave with your dream ring and an experience you'll never forget. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Kansas football fans, picture this. You bet on your favorite player to score the first touchdown, and he throws an awesome block so his teammate can score instead. If this happens, MGM wants to give you another chance at the end zone. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you'll get your stake back if your first touchdown scorer scores second instead. That's right. Bet on any pro football player to score the first touchdown of the game. If you're right, you win. If your player scores second, you get your stake back in cash. Everyone knows the most exciting part of football is the score. With BetMGM's second chance promotion, you have a chance to keep the fun going after the first player crosses the goal line. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only, Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
It's time to review the top 3 highlights of the day. I'm joined as always by my co-anchor Snoop.
Hey, what up, though?
Snoop, number 1 has to be getting the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence at T-Mobile.
Yeah, you should hustle down to T-Mobile like a dog chasing a squirrel chasing a nut.
Nice analogy, Snoop. Dogs do love to chase squirrels.
And squirrels love to chase those nuts.
On to highlight number 2. With T-Mobile, families can save 20% every month versus the other big guys.
That is very impressive. You know, y'all can take some of those savings and buy some Snoop merchandise.
That's exactly what I'm planning on doing with my savings, Snoop. Now, take it away, Snoop.
Head to T-Mobile.com and get the new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on them. Now drop that jingle.
24 monthly bill credits. Eligible trade-in on Go 5G Next. Well-qualified customers plus tax and $35 connection charge. Cancel entire account before receiving 24 bill credits and credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Bill credits end if you pay off device early. See how you can save versus the other big guys at T-Mobile.com/switch. Apple Intelligence coming fall 2024.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off Berry Road and Prairie Drive in KC-Mo on Thursday, September 26th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m. eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. For more details, go to 965thefan.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
670 eastbound slow into downtown from about the state line. 35 northbound slows from Southwest Trafficway into downtown, and it's slow north of 670 as well, all the way up to I-70. 71 northbound slow into downtown from 22nd Street. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome to your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, back in on the drive. This is my promise to you. We are going to have Josh Vernier on the show. I'm going to move his appearance to today as opposed to Friday. We'll get back to football tomorrow. We're going to take a trip to Minnesota coming up in about 10 minutes. I want to talk to you guys. 913-586-7965. If you would like to call in and talk Royals, we will take your phone calls. So pick up the phone. You want to talk a little Royals? We are happy to do that. We have been talking a lot about Lucas Erceg today, and Lucas Erceg is, in my opinion, the biggest reason of how they won this series and how I think you can have hope about this team going into the postseason. I can give you guys the starting pitching numbers because starting pitching-wise, they have gotten quality starts for a while. But the bullpen has remained a question for this team. Lucas Erceg, at least on the back half of it. Now, you got to get to a save opportunity, but Lucas Erceg pitched 3 consecutive days for the first time in his career. He got a save in all 3 of these games against the Nationals. He pitched 3 innings, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, did not walk a batter, and had 4 strikeouts this weekend. There was a text that we got earlier, and I told the person that we were going to talk about this. Let me go ahead and find it. 913-586-7965. All right, I found it. C-Dot, can you talk about the thinking behind using Lucas Erceg to pitch 3 games in a row? Bubic could have easily gone another inning tonight and kept Erceg fresh for Atlanta. But then again, I am not a baseball manager. Make the postseason. If the Royals clinch this thing tomorrow on a Friday, you know what Saturday and Sunday are? Light days. Erceg doesn't pitch on Saturday. He doesn't pitch on Sunday. You have an off day on Monday as a travel day, so you can head to wherever you're going to be for the wild card, and then you go from there. Right now, Lucas Erceg is the person that I trust the most here. So if the Royals, so today they have a 2-game lead. If the Twins lose today, it can be 1 game. The Royals can clinch a playoff spot tomorrow. That is all I'm worried about if I'm Matt Quatraro, if I am this organization. Let's make the postseason, and then we can deal with the rest days. We can give Erceg 2-3 days in between, and we can have him ready for the postseason. But you got to get into the dance. And I am happy, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Rob, before we go to the phone lines. I am happy that their manager was managing like these were postseason games because that is exactly what they were. You could not afford to lose these games. You're going up against this team, this opponent, a team that has nothing to play for, and your offense has been struggling. We got to take every single advantage that we have. And right now, one of their biggest advantages that they have is Lucas Erceg. So you got to use him here. Now, I don't know what that means for the Royals next week. I don't know what that means for the Royals in 2 weeks. But I know you had to take care of business this week to unlock next week, which could hopefully help you unlock 2 weeks from now. So I don't have any problem with the way that they use Lucas Erceg. I would use him again tomorrow if you got to. If you are in a position where you can make the playoffs tomorrow, you use Erceg for a fourth consecutive day, and then you can give him 3 days off, and hopefully he's fresh for Tuesday. Maybe you don't even need him on Tuesday against whomever you play. But right now, you got to take care of what you can take care of. And you are not in the postseason. You are on the doorstep. You are 98% there, 99% there. You maybe have to win one more game to ensure that you make the postseason.
I think it goes beyond just Erceg. I'm going to credit Q. He managed today's game and, honestly, Tuesday's game like they were postseason games. Not just Erceg on 3 days rest, on 3 straight days, excuse me. He was aggressive. I'm bringing in a lefty early in the 9th inning, MJ Melendez, a guy that's been much maligned. I trust him. Hey, it's righty-lefty. It's the 9th inning. It's a tie game. Here we go. Okay, he got on base. Pinch runner, boom, immediately. Steal second, calls for the delayed steal. A situation they haven't used much this year. Doesn't matter. We're pulling all the bag of tricks out. It doesn't matter if the Nationals. Today is must win. Whether they saw the Detroit score on the scoreboard or not, it doesn't matter. They were all in on winning today. And with now 3 games left and postseason baseball, that is the energy you need. You need to treat every day like it is do or die, which is why Vern, to his credit, all the time on the pre- and post-game show talks about how baseball has 2 seasons. There's baseball season, which is the marathon, and then there's the sprint. I don't know if the Royals are going to make any noise in the postseason if and when they make it. But I know this. It appears, based on this series against the Nats, and we can see it maybe in the future series against the Braves, Matty Q is managing like every day is do or die, and that's what you want to see in October because it's not, hey, we'll live to fight another day. Go get him tomorrow. Baseball's only as good as your next day's starter. Today could be your last day, so credit to him.
Another point I think that's very important in this conversation is Lucas Erceg pitched 35 pitches the last couple of days. It would be different if one of those you thought was a strain and he gave you 25 pitches on one of those days and you felt like he was overworked. He's thrown 35 pitches over the last 3 days. So maybe you don't need him tomorrow. Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, the weather is not holding up in Atlanta. I'm not even sure if the Royals are going to play tomorrow. But you got to take care of business today and worry about tomorrow. Let's go to the phone lines. If Rob puts you on hold, we will take your phone calls, 913-586-7965. We're also going to head to Minnesota here coming up in a bit. There are only 3 teams alive for the wild card aside from Baltimore. It is the Tigers, the Royals, and the Twins. We've already been to Detroit. We're going to head to Minnesota here coming up in a bit. Let's go to the phone line. Stephanie called into the show. Hey, Stephanie, how you doing today?
Hi. I say I'm not just saying we're going to postseason. I say we're going to the World Series. I want to see another World Series win.
You know what, Stephanie? I love your optimism and hopefulness. You know what? I appreciate you calling in today. I appreciate you, Stephanie. That's a step too far that I'm willing to go right now. But you know what? I love the hopefulness. I love the optimism. I don't know if you can get a dynasty with the Chiefs and another World Series with the Royals. You got to pick one. I don't know if the sports guys are going to give you both. It's a little selfish. Let's go back to the phone lines. Brandon, you called into the show. How you doing today, Brandon?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. I want to shout out you, Carrington, man. You connected, man, so I appreciate you getting the Valley Sports Detroit guy on the radio. I am born and raised from Detroit, and I live in the Kansas City area with work, and it's crazy. It was like we were stuck. We're on the Mamba. I'm a Tigers fan, and we're on the Mamba ride, and we're stuck at the top. And I don't want to fall down off the Mamba. I don't want to go down this 100-foot drop. So it's amazing, man. Just a blink of an eye, you can miss it, man. All-Star game. I'm like, we're trying to sell everything. Scooble's on the trade block. Like, we're sellers. I'm like, man, please don't trade Scooble. And it's dope to know that all we got to do is beat the White Sox a couple times, maybe one time. Who knows what the Twins are doing? They're falling, and it sucks to be them. But as a Lions, Tigers, I guess you can say when the Lions sucked, I used to root for the Chiefs because our season was done by week 6. We're 1-6 with Matt Patricia. So I listen to y'all every day, man. I love what y'all doing. I can hear y'all more clear because I switched to 96 to 5 fan, and Man, it's crazy. It's good vibes, man. I appreciate everything y'all doing. I just wanted to stop by and say that, man.
You know what, Brandon, man, I appreciate you, man. Good luck to your Lions this year, man. Thank you, man. We appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you saying I'm connected. I'm not just connected in Detroit with my man Johnny Kane. We were connected to a higher power. We had a psychic on the show a couple days ago. He told you guys what was going to happen.
We'll know by Thursday because everything shifts on Thursday. I think 4th, 5th inning tonight.
That's good. You want to know why that's good? Because their series against the Nationals, guess when it ends?
It ends on Thursday.
It is on Thursday.
Did some research. That noon game will tell it all.
It is on
4th
Thursday.
and 5th inning will tell everything tonight. Tomorrow it will be the 2nd and 3rd and 4th inning, and then at the end of the game. But it's the noon game in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm. Connected to a higher power, man. You guys laughed at me, mocked this show for having him on here. He came on here and told us exactly what was going to happen. We might have him back. Let's go back to the phone lines. Showtime KC, you called into the show, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing great, Carrington. Big Bob and the boys are playing some ball, C-Dot. And how about the bullpen, especially my guy, Lights Out, Lucas Ursay. And shout out to my guy, Lights Out, Lucas Ursay, getting it done in the 9th inning. Keep it going. Let's go Royals. Shout out to all my Royals fans out there. Showtime Kansas City, I'm out.
Showtime KC, man, we appreciate you. We love the excitement, man. We got Dan Hayes. He is covering the Minnesota Twins. Dan, I'm going to guess that you guys aren't that excited in Minnesota right now, especially with how you guys have been playing of late.
Hey, you know, they've been wearing this for about 6 weeks now because 6 weeks ago they were 17 over 500 and things looked great, and they had that game they blew in Texas. They were going to sweep a 4-game series from the Rangers, had a 4-0 lead with Pablo Lopez on the mound. The bullpen came in and coughed it up, and gone downhill since. I think they're 12-23 since that point. And at this point, basically, you have to hope for some real help from the Atlanta Braves and take care of your own end. And that's certainly not a position they envision themselves being in whatsoever. But I mean, it's their reality, and certainly they are trying to deal with it. But yeah, there's an air of uneasiness without question.
I mean, you guys have basically been the opposite of the Tigers. The Tigers have been the hottest team in baseball since the middle of August. You guys are on the opposite end of the spectrum. You just mentioned how many games they were over 500. What happened with Minnesota? What's fallen apart? With the Royals, you can kind of pinpoint it back to the injury with Vinny Pasquantino, certainly when this offense took a change. What was the change with Minnesota?
Well, August 7th, Joe Ryan went down. That meant they had 3 rookies in the rotation, none of whom is really somebody they trust going more than 5 innings, and they've all reached career innings pitch limits because basically all of them had never touched the majors before this year. Simeon Woods Richardson, David Festa, and Zebby Matthews, who debuted against the Royals a week later there. That's one thing. Having Carlos Correa out for 53 games was massive. I think they really missed his voice and just in the clubhouse and guiding young players. And I think that, the weight of this fell on an offense that was young and trying to deal with it for the first time, and they've slumped. You can look at a lot of guys, Royce Lewis, Jose Miranda. When we're around the All-Star break, early July, these were some of the hottest hitters in baseball. At one point, I think it was July 5th, the Twins were the 5th highest scoring offense in baseball. Since then, since August 12th, I think that's the day that Byron Buxton went out with a hip inflammation. He missed 28 games at that point. Their offense went dormant. Last night they hit their first home run in 8 days. They just haven't been a powerful bunch the way they had been early in the season. And they're just, everything has fallen apart at once. Not enough pitching, not enough offense. Defense has been shoddy at times, and the bullpen just got tired. And I think when you have those kind of issues all surface at the same time, anybody's going to run into some issues. A team without its best players, Byron Buxton and Carlos Correa, is going to really struggle with those issues.
Right now, we're talking to Dan Hayes. He covers the Minnesota Twins for The Athletic. Dan, can you give us a fan check right now? What's the temperature? As you would guess, Royals fans were pretty down on this team after the weekend. They scored 1 run in the series against the San Francisco Giants, but the Nationals were on the schedule. The Royals sweep that series, and now fans are hopeful and optimistic again. Their magic number could be 1 today, depending on the result of the game that you're going to be at. Where are Twins fans right now? What's the temperature of that fan base?
They are ecstatic that Sam Darnold and the Vikings are 3-0. That's what the temperature of the Twins fan base is right now. I think that a lot of people are it's been a tough year. The team was coming off that amazing year last year. They cut payroll by $30 million. Ownership really kind of dropped the ball there. I think fans were really disgruntled going into the season. They started 7-13. They got hot. Fans were sort of getting back on board. Attendance was going up, but I think they're back at disgruntled and tuning them out. And again, the Vikings are 3-0. The Timberwolves are about to start here in the next month. I think that people are just sort of getting ready for that next wave of sports and more excited about that. And that doesn't surprise me at all. The trade deadline was disappointing for the Twins. They didn't add any player on the waiver wire. A guy like Tommy Pham, just adding him because they had waiver priority over Kansas City at the time, adding him would have been a move. The Twins, just something to fire fans up. They haven't done a very good job of that this year, and I think it's really carried over because there's a lot of disinterest right now.
2 questions here left for Dan Hayes, who covers the Twins for The Athletic. You guys have one more game against Miami. You guys have 3 games this weekend against Baltimore. Baltimore also in the playoff picture. What's your level of optimism? What's your hope for the Twins over these next 4 days?
Well, certainly the fact that the Royals won today, I think, puts a little damper on it. I'd put it about Kansas City at 75%, the Twins at 25%. I mean, look, the Braves, that's a tough place to play. It's going to be, interesting weather conditions with the hurricane rolling through and the remnants of the hurricane rolling through. The Twins absolutely need to basically run the table here, and they need to hope that Baltimore is just setting themselves up for that postseason appearance next week, and more worried about that than what they do this weekend and mailing it in. And the Braves play the Royals tough because at this point, technically, yes, I guess the White Sox are the hottest team in baseball, having swept the Angels, but I don't think they're going to beat the Tigers once, let alone twice. And, a sweep is probably not on the table there either unless Detroit's sweeping. So really the Twins are big Atlanta Braves fans and hoping that they can take what they got last night and build off of it.
Dan, I'm not getting a lot of sense of hope and optimism from you right now. That's not the vibe that I'm getting. When I was talking to Johnny Kane from the Tigers, it was so much hope, optimism, which makes sense. They've been winning. You sound kind of beat down by how they played the last couple of weeks.
You just see, this team's been beat up all year. I mean, the rotation problem the rotation plan was flawed going into the season. You knew that the pitching could be a problem. It has been a problem for this team. And the tough part is that, against against Cleveland last week, the Twins, they lost 3 one-run games. 2 were walk-offs or last at-bat wins for Cleveland. It's tough when they had that kind of gut punch. And then they came back and had a great win on Friday in Boston, got rained out on Saturday in Boston, and went into the doubleheader on Sunday with Pablo Lopez pitching in one of the games and with Zebby Matthews, and they lost. They were outscored 17-3, in arguably their biggest day of the season, and they followed that up by losing to the Marlins on Tuesday night. It's been 6 weeks of this team can't put together 2 good days at any point. And so you get that sense that it's really going to be hard for them to do this. Do I think it's possible? Of course. Carlos Correa, even though he's probably playing on one leg, he's probably playing about 60%. Byron Buxton's probably 75% right now. They're playing some Herculean baseball right now. The 2 of them are incredible. Buxton homered. Last night was his 100th game. It's only the 2nd time in his career he's played 100 games. But they just haven't had enough contributions from other guys on the roster. I think a lot of the other guys are low in gas, and you can sense it. I mean, there's a lot of effort. You can see that part. They're just not getting results, and they definitely are feeling it.
That is our guy, Dan Hayes, joining us on the show today. Dan, I will say this. I love talking to you, but if we talk to you again, something went terribly wrong for the Royals.
I know. It's funny. When I left my house yesterday, because I live in Chicago, I commute to Minnesota, I took an extra bunch of clothes, and I told my wife, I was like, it's probably going to be 7 days, but maybe I'll see you in a month. And she laughed like, yeah, right. I'll see you next week. So it's kind of is what it is at this point for the Twins.
That is Dan Hayes joining us on the show. Dan, I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
That is Dan Hayes joining us on the show. I'm sorry. That was funny. Royals fans, you cannot be worried about that team we just heard. That's their beat writer. He watches them every day. You could not have heard that and been like, I don't know, man. I'm worried about that team. That sounds like a team that can't wait to go on vacation. That sounds like a team to me that cannot wait for this season to be over. Rob, is that the vibe that you got? This is the guy who watches them every single day. He's on every trip. He knows this team. He's telling you this season is cooked, done.
Can you imagine?
He gave me no reason to feel hopeful about the Minnesota Twins. None.
Can you imagine if Nate Taylor came on this show and was like, I don't know, guys, it's over. Just, sorry, I got nothing left for you. It's been a disaster for 6 weeks. I know it's baseball and football are different, but Dan Hayes is basically the Nate Taylor of the Twins, and he's like, yeah, I get to go back to Chicago in 7 days because the season's over.
That story about his wife was funny, man.
It really was.
Let me go back to the phone lines. 913-586-7965. Justine, you called into the show. How you doing, Justine?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Doing good. Happy to have you call in today.
It's a good day to be a Kansas City Royals fan.
For sure.
So I just wanted to say I'm not sure if there's any tickets left, but if you haven't gotten your postseason tickets, they went on sale yesterday, and I secured game one of the ADLS. So we're just hoping to get through that wild card, and I'll get to see some October baseball at Kauffman. And so if you haven't had a chance, check it out and see if there's any extra tickets still available. Got them face value, so not too pricey at this point.
You know what, Justine? Thank you so much for telling people that. You know, that's the kind of hopefulness and optimism I need. I put my money where my mouth is. I already got my seats, she said. I got my tickets. I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there? Are they going to give you your money back if they don't make it? Because, you know, I can see the Royals trying to be on some funny, oh, hey, you can roll it over the next season. I can see it being some tomfoolery with them. I don't know, but that's just a guess of mine. I can see it being some shenanigans with them. Oh, hey, we're going to give you a credit for opening day. Nah, that's not what I want. Give me my money back. All right, we're going to take more of your calls, 913-586-7965. If you call, Rob puts you on hold. We will take your call. Vern's going to join us coming up at 5 o'clock. We're talking baseball the rest of the way. If you're upset that we're not going through Chiefs hypotheticals, tomorrow we will do that. They're 8-point favorites over the Chargers. You guys hate the Chargers anyway. Tomorrow I'll pick the Chargers to win. You'll be mad. Balance will be restored tomorrow on the show. But today, we celebrate the Royals as they are 2 games away from the postseason. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
You've been waiting, and now is the time. Golden Oak Lending has fixed mortgage rates at 4.875%. But don't wait, this rate won't last forever. Call today and take advantage of our low 4.875 fixed rate. Call 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending, join my blue.
5.784 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Intimacy. Those special moments when we're together and deeply connected to the one we love. Truly, there are few times in life as wonderful as these. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and it's the restoration of intimacy that makes me most proud of the work we do in treating erectile dysfunction for our patients. ED is an intimacy destroyer. Research shows that men can draw apart from their partners when ED affects their sex life. The condition causes stress, anxiety, and depression. Even worse, a man's partner can even blame themselves when ED becomes a problem. For us at Heartland Men's Health, this is unacceptable because ED is simply a medical condition like any other, and we have many treatment options and treatment combinations that can stop ED in its tracks. In fact, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. So call us and get back those intimate moments. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Highland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Jeff Briggs with Victory Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, home of the Victory Effect, our pledge to drive down vehicle pricing for the city we love. The Labor Day sales event has been extended through September, along with extra incentives from the factory. New Ram heavy duties are now priced up to $16,000 off. New Jeep SUVs priced as low as $22,988. And the best part? Included for free is our first-class customer service, backed by the highest Google and Facebook ratings of any CDJR dealership in the state of Kansas. How do we do it? Transparent pricing. No hidden fees or extra add-ons here, folks. Also, we stand behind our product. If at any time you are dissatisfied with your purchase or your experience, you get a deal directly with me, the owner. And of course, don't forget the free spray and bed liner with the purchase of every new truck. Visit us at Kansas City's only automotive outlet mall, the Legends Auto Plaza, on the southeast corner of 435 and Parallel, just east of Nebraska Furniture Mart, or online at victorymotorskc.com, where our first price is better than their last.
Are you playing roofer roulette? That's when you bet your roof and your home on the first random roofer to ring your doorbell. Why do that when JR and Company offers a free hail and wind report online at jrstormcheck.com?
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. With Downy Unstoppables, you just toss, wash, wow, for all-day freshness.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
It's Wrangler season out there. Warmer days, cooler nights. Open roads, endless horizons. And you need to be ready in jeans made for the unpredictable. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off Berry Road and Prairie Drive in KC-Mo on Thursday, September 26th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m. eating some wings and drinking $5 Bud Lights. For more details, go to 965thefan.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
670 eastbound, you're slow from the river into downtown. 35 northbound, you hit delays around Southwest Traffic Way, and it's mostly slow up into downtown. North of 670, slows again approaching I-70. 71 northbound, slow into downtown from 22nd Street. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Welcome to your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here. Rob Brenton is here as well, taking you up until 6 o'clock. We are going to head to Josh Vernier coming up in about 15 minutes or so. We are talking all Royals the rest of the day. If you are sad that we are not talking about the Chiefs, trust me, we will get back to the Chiefs tomorrow on a Red Friday. I am a little bit disappointed that we didn't get more of an opportunity to talk about this, where Richard Sherman called Trevor Lawrence a knockoff Gardner Minshew.
At $55 million, benefit of the doubt is gone. We're putting it on you. Wins and losses are on your back. It's unfair responsibility, but that's what you're getting paid. Your paycheck says, hey, responsibility. That's what the money is for. I'm going to give you Gardner Minshew's stats. Gardner Minshew's record is 16-24. That's a 40% winning percentage. Completed 63% of his passes, 62 touchdowns, 27 interceptions, a 90.3 quarterback rating, 18 fumbles lost. And we're going to go through Trevor Lawrence's record. 20-33. 37.7% winning percentage, 63.2 completion percentage, 60 touchdowns, 40 interceptions, 84.5 passer rating, 21 fumbles lost. People are going to call me crazy because he was labeled a generational talent coming out because he's handsome. He has the long hair. He looks the part. He's just a name brand Gardner Minshew. For what they're getting right now out of Trevor Lawrence, they could have kept Gardner Minshew and they would have got at least equal level play.
Hey, man. If you call me name brand Gardner Minshew, I got to find you and we got to get into a physical confrontation, man. We got to fight. I'm serious. I am happy that everybody else is coming to the same side that I've been on for Trevor Lawrence for 5 years. It took a while, and sometimes things take time. Sometimes you got to go out and experience it for yourself, and then you see for yourself. I've been telling you that Trevor Lawrence was fraudulent for years, and you guys blamed everybody else. Oh, it was Urban Meyer. Oh, no, it's him. He's the problem. I've been telling you. I wish we had more time to get into that, but we're not doing that today. We're only talking Royals. I just had to play that. Somebody, come on now. Somebody making that kind of comparison, that's what this show is known for. A name brand Gardner Minshew. That's not good. That's not good at all. Mike, how you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good. I just wanted to say I appreciate the job that you guys do. Your analyst of how the Royals are going has been spot on, I think. I really liked it when you brought on the psychic. And I thought that was pretty funny. I want to make sure you touch all the bases, though. I think you should call the Kansas City St. Joseph Diocese and see if you can get the bishop to put a special blessing on the Royals, because God knows they're going to need it.
You know what, Mike? That's a great idea, Mike. I appreciate that. We might have to bring somebody in next Tuesday to put a blessing over the Royals. And we might have to do that. That's a really good idea, Mike. Thank you. We already looked into the future to tell you how things were going to go. So we need to, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you, Mike, for that. I really do appreciate that. Seriously. I really do. I'm very happy to get Vern's opinion on this coming up in a bit, to hear what he thinks about the Royals and where we are and where we currently sit in the magic number. I'm really happy to catch up with him. I do want to talk about this before we do this. I understand that it has gotten lost in the middle of all the hitting woes that the Royals have had. They have gotten incredible starting pitching over the course of the last couple of weeks and would not be in this position where they were able to hold on if it wasn't for their starting pitching. Whether it was Cole Reagans, whether it was Michael Lorenzen, who went out there, and I know he left early, but even when he came out, they have held up. Their pitching in September, when they really needed it, has tried to keep them afloat. And shockingly enough, when the Royals could put up a couple of runs, they were able to hold on and win. So whether it was starting pitching-wise, their bullpen has actually been pretty good. Rob, you want to know when their bullpen turned the corner? When they got James MacArthur out of it. That's kind of when you start to see a little bit of a return. They got rid of some of the bad eggs in the second half of the season, and they've kind of tightened this thing up. I think their bullpen, I don't look at their bullpen as a liability heading into the postseason. If Urseg is going to be your closer, you're going to use less starters just because you don't need 5 starters in the postseason. I actually think they're in a decent spot heading into it. This isn't the 14 or 15 Royals. No one is confusing their bullpen with that. But, I mean, right now, the only question for the Royals heading into the postseason is, can they score enough? I don't have questions about the starting pitching. I don't really have that many questions about the bullpen. The question is going to be if they put up enough runs. Because I think we all can see, hey, if the Royals play a 3-game series, you scored 3 or 4 runs in that series. You are not going on the road and beating Baltimore. You're not going on the road and beating the Astros if you can't scratch runs across. That's the only question I think you have about the Royals in this series and over the course of the postseason is they're going to have to get hot offensively to really help you dream if they can make a Cinderella dazzling run.
We talked about it. Reagan started on Tuesday. So we talked about it on Wednesday, about how the Royals' path to win in the postseason is through starting pitching, and that is the goal. But I think one of the reasons why, again, when they're playing postseason baseball on Tuesday, why fans should have a level of optimism is Reagans and Lugo or Reagans and Waka or Reagans and Singer are games 1 and 2. You feel like you might not have an advantage in both those games, but you're not at a disadvantage. And then you got the bullpen to at least continue to shut teams down. Like today, Waka gave up 4, and then the bullpen was lights out. Yesterday, the bullpen was incredible. And we don't need to talk about Tuesday, where Reagans and the bullpen didn't give up a run. Like, they were nothing short of sensational. So I think what was once a weakness, I don't want to say is a strength now, but I do not believe the bullpen will be the reason the Royals eventually exit the postseason. I think they're going to lose games in the postseason. I don't think this is some magic 14 run. I know today's a day for excitement. I know today's today for we're going to the postseason, all the excitement.
You also got to keep in mind who they beat over the last 3 days. I think that's a fair thing. I'm all about being hopeful and being, but I mean, this was the last gimme that they have the rest of the way. This is a team that is done, cooked. You did exactly what you were supposed to do to that team. If you're a playoff team and you need these games, you can't afford to drop one to the Washington Nationals. You had to win all 3 of those games.
Which the Twins did not do to the Marlins, by the way.
And that's why they're missing the postseason.
Exactly.
And that's exactly why they're going to miss the postseason. This is where I don't know if I disagree with you, but I would maybe phrase it a little bit differently. I think we have got to the point where their bullpen is not their Achilles heel, where 2 weeks ago, if I had asked you, what's the Achilles heel of the Royals, I think a majority of people would have answered the bullpen. The bullpen's going to mess things up. You remember, we were asking people, hey, it's 5-3, you're heading into the 7th inning. What's your order? I'm not as worried about that anymore. Are they going to be up 5-3 heading into the 7th inning? They're going to score 5 runs in one of those games? If they score 5 runs in any of game 1 or game 2, they have to win. You have to figure out a way to win that game with this offense. Them giving you 5 runs is a blessing. So you got to figure it out if that's the case. Have to. All right, let's step aside here. 913-586-7965. We're going to step aside. Vern's going to be on the other side. We're going to take a final trip to Minnesota. Henry Lake is going to be on the show. We are talking Royals the rest of the way. If you want Chiefs, I'm sorry. Come back tomorrow. We ain't got you today. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Park and Go, your top choice for all covered airport parking. On the Kansas side, K10 eastbound past Kill Creek Road, the bridge repair over Cedar Creek in the left lane, keeping things very heavy for nearly 2 miles. Tackle your airport parking needs at Park and Go. Always the best service and always the best price. Open 24/7, fast and free shuttle services, and all spots are covered. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com. Park and Go, family owned and operated. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
Winchester at Lake City Army Ammunition Plant in Independence is the largest manufacturer of small caliber ammunition for the U.S. military. They're hiring technicians starting at $26.72 an hour with a $1,000 hiring bonus. Excellent day one benefits include medical, dental, educational support, paid time off, and company retirement contributions up to 8%. Join Winchester and serve the U.S. warfighter. It's more than a job, it's a mission. Apply at winchester.com/careers.
Hey, let me tell you guys about my friends at Gates Barbecue. With 5 locations around town, you are never too far away from that classic barbecue taste. It is tailgate season. It is football season. So that means you are having family, friends, and football, and you are gathering together. And that means you need that small party tray. You need that large party tray. Maybe you need the presidential platter because you got a group of people coming over to watch a little bit of football. Maybe you like to do the grilling on your own. Well, you can do that, but make sure for any tailgate you need that Gates sauce and that Gates season, and you know you need that if you are going to the tailgate. Maybe you plan on stopping by the store and grabbing lunch, pick up the nooner. Maybe you plan on stopping by, get your sides. They got the new Burnt E Mac that I had a couple days ago. Absolutely delicious. I would highly encourage you to check it out. No matter what your barbecue needs is, the best place to fulfill them is my friends over at Gates Barbecue.
Have you noticed your neighbors getting new roofs after the storms that came through this year? Then it's time to schedule a zero-pressure, in-depth inspection with Century Roofing's trusted roofing experts. We will determine if enough damage exists to warrant filing a claim. See for yourself why Century Roofing has been voted Best of Johnson County for the 3rd year in a row. Trust the pillars of strength with KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, your hometown roofing team. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Right now at Wendy's, you can get a small Frosty for $1. And literally everyone is going. The car behind you, going to get a $1 Frosty. The car ahead of you, already had one, going for a second. The person who cut you off earlier, you guessed it, $1 Frosty. Maybe it's all a sign for you to go get one. Just don't cut anyone off. No one likes that person. The iconic Frosty for $1, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Not valid in a combo. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, California, and via third-party delivery.
The only thing more satisfying than a crisp fall day is a crisp fall day inside your cozy, spotless home. Right now, shop Labor Day savings on select cleaning essentials and exclusive brands from the Home Depot. Plus, with fast free delivery, you don't have to worry about running out of your favorite cleaners, paper products, trash bags, and more. The Home Depot has everything you need to get ready for a fall refresh. Get your home crisp, clean, and ready for the season with the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Free delivery on over 2 million items subject to availability.
Arvest Bank, believing in the power of serving others.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to supporting those who serve our communities. We believe that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest. We believe.
What's up? It's Patrick Mahomes. Catch me every Monday during the season with C-Dot right here on your home of the Chiefs. 96.5, The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome into the drive. Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. My name is Carrington Harrison. Rob Brenton is here as well. We are happy to be talking to you after a Royal sweep. Let's head to the phone lines right now. Let's not waste any time. Let's be joined by our guy, Josh Vernier. I wanted to move his appearance to today. Tomorrow, we will get back to football, but today, it is the Royals' day after they win the series against the Washington Nationals. Vern, how you doing, man?
I'm doing terrific. Big win today. Well, you don't want to say almost impossible, but even if the Royals don't win another game, that means the Twins need to go 3-1 down the stretch. That's going to be difficult. It certainly feels as if October is promised for Kansas City.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Let's talk about some of the positive things before we get to the offense. Let's start with the starting pitching. I understand that the offense has kind of sucked up a lot of the oxygen about this team over the last 10 days or so. They got excellent starting pitching this week against the Nationals.
Yeah, and they've received great starting pitching dating back to April. I mean, the blueprint, the formula for the 2024 Kansas City Royals has been well known dating back to April, right? Early on in the season, it was apparent that Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha were bringing more than just stability to this rotation. They were bringing quality performances, quality starts, all-star stuff, Cy Young award-winning stuff in the case of Seth Lugo. Pitching, defense, team speed. You know, we talked about that dating back to April. The question back then was, can they sustain this over the next 5 months? And here we are 5 months later, and the answer is a resounding yes. The rotation, second most innings pitched in Major League Baseball. The ERA just a shade above 3.5. That's the second lowest mark in all of Major League Baseball. 3 of the top 10 best ERAs in the American League are Kansas City Royals, with Lugo 6th lowest, Michael Wacha 10th, and Cole Reagan's top 8. This team has been led by pitching, defense, and team speed all season long. That's how you got the first 2 wins in Washington, along with Bobby Witt Jr. just being the best player on the planet. Right? I mean, Cole Reagan, 6 innings of shutout baseball back on Tuesday. Michael Lorenzen, along with the bullpen, made it work yesterday. And, you know, Michael Wacha wasn't sharp, but he's still able to give you 5 innings of 3-run baseball and overcome a first-inning error as his second baseman drops a pop-up. So you had a little bit of everything over the course of this 3-game sweep of Washington, but I think what you've seen of late has been reflected in a majority of these 159 games already played.
Vern, maybe I missed it here, so I apologize. What's the status on Michael Lorenzen? Is he going to be okay? Have you heard anything?
Nothing today, but as far as yesterday, that was just a veteran, and he's one of those yoked dudes where you just know he knows his body inside and out. He's one of those muscle heads that you have to think knows everything that he ingests. So when he pulls himself out of the game yesterday, feeling that left hamstring getting a little bit tight, he does it not because he's banged up, but because he wants to save himself to come out of the bullpen in these final 3 games against the Atlanta Braves, make sure that he's available for next weekend or next week's wild card series. So listening to Michael Lorenzen, listening to Matt Quatrero earlier today, not all that concerned moving forward with Michael Lorenzen. Should be able to help this team moving forward.
We were just talking about this before you hopped on. If you had asked me 2-3 weeks ago, what's the Achilles heel for this team, I would have said the bullpen. Lucas Erceg was lights out over the last 3 days. Gave you 3 innings, didn't allow a hit, didn't walk anybody. He gave you 3 very, very clean innings where I've asked you, you know, if this team is up 5-4 heading into the 7th inning, what's the formula going to be? I mean, we can 100% rubber stamp it. Lucas Erceg, I think he can give you 2 innings. I mean, these were easy, carefree innings these last 3 days.
Yeah, without question. But 2-3 weeks ago, we knew that Lucas Erceg was the closer, was the big dog in that bullpen. The question was and continues to be everybody outside of Lucas Erceg. Because I'm with you. Yeah, once tournament baseball starts, if the Royals make it there to the ALDS, yeah, I want to see Lucas Erceg pitch multiple innings every single game. Just like Wade Davis did, like Kelvin Herrera did, like Emmanuel Clase is going to do for Cleveland. Now, the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the best-of-3 wild card series, it's going to be a tad bit more difficult to run a guy out there 3 days in a row and expect multiple innings out of him. Yeah, obviously encouraged with Erceg, but been encouraged by him really since he came to Kansas City. The question is everybody else. I still view the bullpen as the Achilles heel, to be quite honest. I mean, I mentioned it on the postgame show 2-3 weeks ago. To a man, to a woman, everyone in Kansas City said that it's already preordained that if the Royals, if and when they fall short in October, it's going to be because of that bullpen. Now, of late, some have started to sway and started to buy into what we've seen out of this bullpen of late, and understandably so. Angel Zerpa's retired 18 of the 19 that he's faced. John Schreiber spun 8 straight scoreless outings. Chris Bubich hasn't allowed an earned run in any of his last 9 appearances. You mentioned Lucas Urseg. We could talk about what Sam Long did just a night ago. Daniel Lynch hasn't allowed an earned run since he returned to the big leagues. No, the bullpen's been outstanding. 30 consecutive scoreless innings. Now, they haven't had many leads over the course of that 30 consecutive scoreless innings, and they also aren't pitching in the postseason. And come the postseason, you're not facing this Washington Nationals offense that has been punchless for so very long. So as I look towards October and I say, what's the Achilles heel between the bullpen and the offense? Well, the offense has at least two superstars in Bobby and Salvi. The bullpen has what I hope becomes a superstar in Lucas Urseg. So I still lean towards the two superstar aspect of this team, and that is the offense. So I still have my questions about the bullpen. They've been good of late, but other than Lucas Urseg, who do I want to see in a big spot? See, now this is what I keep coming back to. When you go to Tuesday's game against Baltimore or Houston, Kyle Tucker, the all-star outfielder for the Astros, or Gunnar Henderson, the all-star shortstop for the Orioles. Let's say they have 4 at-bats in that game 1 of the wild card series, and let's say Cole Reagans is your starting pitcher. Who do you want facing Gunnar Henderson in those 4 at-bats? I'm still one that says I want Cole Reagans taking up the first 3. Normally in the postseason, you don't let your starting pitcher face the heart of the lineup 3 times. I'm still a believer that this team's going to be led by its rotation. So I want Reagans eating up 3 of those at-bats. Lucas Urseg can take the 4th. There might be some out there that say, hey, give Chris Bubich that 3rd battle with Kyle Tucker or that 3rd battle with an Adley Rutschman or a Gunnar Henderson. I still lean towards Reagans, Lugo, and even a Michael Waka. I'm still all in on the rotation being the reason why you're going to win or the reason why you're ultimately going to fall short in October.
Right now we're talking to our guy, Josh Fernier. At least for me, I think their best case scenario is this team needs to clinch tomorrow. So Twins lose, the Royals have it clinched. Saturday they don't have to worry about. Sunday they don't have to worry about. They get their lineup in order. They get their bullpen in order. And then heading into Tuesday, you got Reagans.
So you don't care, though. But you don't care about 5 or 6 seed then?
I mean,
Houston, Baltimore, you don't care. Just I want Reagans in game 1 wherever it is.
To me, this team is at a to me, their best chance of winning. It doesn't matter if it's the
And I'm not saying that's wrong if that's how you feel.
No, 100%.
I'm interested.
No, this team's best chance to win is they need the weekend off. You need 3 games to get an Urseg back right. You don't need Reagans to pitch on Sunday. And you got Tuesday, you got Reagans, and Reagans steals game 1 for you. And it doesn't matter if it's against the Orioles or against the Astros. All right, we have a 1-game advantage here. We got 2 games to win 1. You're right. Ideally, I would love for this team to play the Orioles. That's their best chance to advance if you were talking about a team. But their best chance to advance is a rested Reagans, a rested Urseg, a rested team heading into the wild card round.
Certainly a an available Reagans for game 1, an available Seth Lugo in game 2, right? That's what they need. Because, man, I can't argue with you. Whether it's in Baltimore, whether it's in Houston, Bobby Witt Jr. hits a home run in the first inning, and that stadium's going to get awfully tight. Maybe not so much in Houston because I have to imagine their fans would understand falling short of the ALCS once this decade. But in Baltimore, after their lackluster approach at the deadline, with their late season collapse, really, they had a chance of winning that American League East. But as you've noted, they've been playing really poor over the past 3 weeks. You go into Baltimore game 1, Bobby and Salvi cause some damage in the first inning. That entire place is going to get very, very tight. That clubhouse, that dugout, you have to think on the home side is going to get, start to pucker up. And then Cole Reagans can go out there and absolutely eat. So, yeah, you know what? For as much as I want the Royals to, go for it down the stretch, try to get that 5 seed, I'd much rather face Baltimore than Houston. It's the same thing that A.J. Hinch is tackling right now in Detroit. Do we use Tarek Skubal or do we hold him back for game 1 coming up on Tuesday? I think they're leaning towards the latter. We'll see what happens tomorrow, right? It all is predicated on Brady Singer out-dueling Max Fried, or Minnesota falling tonight and then falling tomorrow, and the Royals can fall ass backwards into the postseason. I like the idea of using Reagans in Game 1, but I understand why the Royals can't come out and say anything other than Cole Reagans is our guy coming up in the finale on Sunday.
Right now, we're talking to Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. The Royals, they won all 3 games this week against the Nationals. Their magic number right now is at 2. If the Twins win or lose today, their magic number will be 1. So they either need to win or the Twins need to lose, and they can make the postseason and lock that in tomorrow if everything falls together. Let me ask you this question about the offense. Based on what we saw the last couple of days, is there any chance that we are out on the other side of this thing? I mean, it was bad. I don't have to give you the numbers. They scored 5 runs in 60 innings not that long ago. But their offense looked good yesterday. Their offense looked viable today. Is there a chance that we are out on the other side of this slump?
Well, I'll say this. Tuesday, Game 1 in Washington, it wasn't just a skid. Those dudes were pressing. Those guys were choking. I mean, it was infecting Yuli Gurriel. You were seeing Salvador Perez with some awful swings, and not your classic Salvi awful swings, but it was your 2018 Salvi, your 2023 Salvi, where if I don't do the damage isn't going to be done. So, yeah, buddy, I'm expanding. Tuesday was rough. Yesterday really didn't buoy my spirits all that much. You only scored 3 runs, with 2/3 of them coming off of Eduardo Salazar, who, I mean, this guy threw 8 pitches and gave up 3 rockets, gave up 2 runs. You did most of your damage against one bad Nationals reliever. But watching today, you know, I'm not seeing the same sort of pressing, gripping the outside of Freddie Fermin. Freddie still seems to be grinding in my mind, but big walk from MJ Melendez and Michael Massey in a big spot in the 9th inning, and then the vets do what they must do. The reason why a guy like Adam Frazier and Tommy Pham and Yuli Gurriel are on this team is for exactly what they did in big spots with runners in scoring position today. Frazier winning it in the 9th, Pham and Yuli putting the boys on the board in the 3rd. So up and down this lineup right now, here's what you're going to need. If you're going to go on any sort of an elongated run come October, you need the threat of power. For as much as we talk about pitching as the currency of baseball, it certainly is, especially in the regular season. But when you get to that tournament ball, where it's, again, Lucas Erceg throwing 2 innings. It's HDH each throwing 2 innings. What you need in October are guys with big fly potential, guys like a Jorge Soler and a Adolis Garcia, guys that can, a Christian Walker, guys that we saw go off last year in the postseason. You need someone that can change the game with one swing of the bat. Obviously, Bobby and Salvi can do that. You need Massey, MJ, Renfroe. You need some more power threats to emerge over the course of these final 3 games. Hopefully that happens against Fried, Sale, and whoever else you possibly face this weekend with the Braves.
Vern, what changed with the Tigers? Because this team was 10 games back of Kansas City, and now they look like the hottest team in baseball where, I mean, the comparisons are starting to be made. It feels like they are the 2014 Royals, that they got hot at the absolute right time, and there is not a team in the American League that wants to play them.
Yeah, I honestly, I think they have a deeper pitching staff than the 2014 Royals. Certainly a deeper bullpen than the 2014 Royals. They didn't have, 2014 didn't have the Cy Young Award winner in Tarek Skubal. But he's been great all year. What changed, in my opinion, watching him, is, the execution from the bullpen. They have just been they've been the best in baseball here in the month of September. Now, don't sleep on the Royals, of course. Royals have been top 10 in Major League Baseball in the month of September when it comes to the bullpen. But, Javi Baez, no longer with the team, no longer in the lineup, and you're seeing A.J. Hinch, just everything he does is working. They're doing a lot like what Matt Quatrero and the Royals and the Rays and what these small market teams have done over the past decade, and that is using everyone on your bench, riding the platoons, riding leverage, using 4, 5, 6, 7 different pitchers, bullpenning. What you're seeing from Detroit is what you've seen for the past decade and a half from Tampa, what the Royals are likely to be moving forward, a team that's using all 14, 15 position players, using a majority of your bullpen arms, and the players are going out there and executing. So I think A.J. Hinch deserves certainly a large amount of credit for putting the guys in the right spots, also giving that dugout, giving that bullpen enough confidence that those guys are excited about their late game roles, about their pitch hitting situations, about their limited opportunities out of the bullpen. It's the exact same thing that Matt Quatrero has done, right? Dairon Blanco excited to be that pinch runner. Adam Frazier excited to come off the bench for a big pinch hit situation. John Schreiber, Angel Zerpa ready to take the ball when called upon. So what you're seeing A.J. Hinch do of late really is what Matt Quatrero's been doing all season. AJ's relievers are just executing at a much higher clip than the Royals relievers really ever have.
Last question, Vernon. We appreciate your time. What's the status of Vinny? I saw that he was taking batting practice. Is there any chance that he could go in the wild card series?
Man, you hate to say that there's no chance, but, man, there's starting on Tuesday, that would be, and you hate putting a ceiling on a professional athlete because to go from an 11th round pick to a big leaguer to a guy that's still top 10 in the American League in RBI speaks to his tenacity and his work ethic and his determination. No, I'm not expecting to see Vinny Pasquantino in the lineup taking a big at-bat until the ALCS at the earliest. But you know that gets the boys going. Right, you know that gets Vinny going, that gets everybody in that clubhouse going. It obviously has gotten the city going. I like the move. Bring them on the field. Let's take some BP on the field. Let's get it out there. Let's get the boys going. If you can hold up your end of the bargain, your number 3 hitter will return. That's a nice little boost, a la Kyle Schwarber back in the day for the 2016 Cubs.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today. He is our Royals insider. The Royals, their magic number is 2, it would appear. I feel very confident the Royals are going to the postseason. Thank you, Vern.
Say it with your chest, man.
The Royals are going to the postseason, Vern.
My man. I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today. All right, let me explain this magic number thing for some of you that don't know. I just want to explain it because maybe you don't know. That's why I'm here to help you. Because magic number really isn't something we talk about in football, Don't really talk about it a lot in basketball. It's more of a baseball thing. This is the magic number. The combination of Royals wins and Twins losses has to add up to 2 or better. That's their magic number in 2. So the Royals could win 2 games, and then it doesn't matter what the Twins do. They could win all of their games because they won at least 2 games. The Royals could lose their next 2 games. As long as the Twins' losses equal 2 or greater, the Royals will make the postseason. So it is a combination of Royals wins and Twins losses from now until the end of the season. That number has to equal 2. If it is less than 2, the Royals are in trouble. They're in trouble. I mean, something went terribly wrong. And then the Twins got piping hot down the stretch. They have to. So they don't even need the Twins to do anything. They could just win 2 of these next games against the Braves, and it does not matter at all what the Twins do because they got 2 more wins. Or tomorrow, I guess they could also today, the Twins could lose. So going into tomorrow, if the Royals win tomorrow, if the Twins lose tonight, the Royals will go into a situation tomorrow against the Braves, we hope. Don't know what the weather's going to be. Where if they win tomorrow, they're in the postseason. That is the magic number explained as simply as I can. Now, the Royals do not have the tiebreaker against the Twins, so that is important to note. If the Royals and the Twins have the same record, then the Royals are not going to the postseason. But that would only happen if the wins and losses does not equal 2 or greater for the Royals. So I hope I explained that. That's the best way that I can explain it. Some combination of Royals wins and Twins losses have to equal 2 or more over the next 3 days. And as long as that happens, the Royals will make the postseason.
By the way, I'm seeing a lot of this on the text line. First and foremost, Tigers don't affect the magic number.
Really quick, I just want to also say with the Tigers, stop worrying about the Tigers. I don't know what to tell you guys. I know that doesn't sound good. The Tigers are making the postseason. The Tigers have the White Sox the rest of the way, and they have been the hottest team in baseball over the course of the last couple of weeks. So I get it. I understand why you would want to ask questions about the Tigers, and it is now definitive with the Mariners being eliminated from the postseason.